We're sticking onto the transgender topic because these stories, we just got to have the conversation. We got to have the conversation. And apparently, a, a county had banned transgender athletes from competing in female sports. It's called Nashua County. And yeah, they signed a bill today to make sure that trans women cannot compete against women. Let's tune into the video.
Transgender athletes banned from competing in girls' sports in more than 20 states, and now you can add New York.
Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman signed an executive order for county facilities. He says it's needed to be fair to female athletes, but advocates are outraged. CBS 2's Carolyn Gussoff covers Long Island and joins us live from a county facility in Eisenhower Park. Carolyn?
Good evening. Critics are blasting the order as unnecessary, divisive, and illegal, and hurtful to already at-risk kids. But Bruce Blakeman says that it's a matter of common sense fairness to women and girls who play sports at county facilities like this one. The Aquatic Center is among more than 100 Nassau County sports fields and facilities, and with his...
I back New York 100%. I back New York 100%. These little girls should not have to compete with these transgender women. And here's why. Here's why. Because I know a lot of people would be like, oh, da, 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 da. Let me know how you feel in the comments. I'd love to know. But a lot of people might like, no, they have rights too. They should participate with who they identify as. But physically, they don't identify. Regardless of how they choose to call themselves, that doesn't mean that they're physically that. Physically, men are still competing against women in the sense. Well, let's continue.
His signature, County Exec Bruce Blakeman has banned transgender players from competing against girls in all of them.
If there is a league or a team that identifies or advertises themselves to be women's or girls, then biological males will not be able to compete.
Blakeman says he respects all people and male athletes can compete on male or co-ed teams, but this, he says, is about fairness.
It is an unfair advantage for someone who is a biological male to compete against a biological female.
He was applauded by girls and their moms.
Our biological differences are undeniable. It's setting standards that females can't biologically get to.
It's been a heated debate among record-breaking swimming achievements by college transgender swimmer Leah Thomas. Competitors protested.
See, Leah Thomas, she's one of them. Leah Thomas was a woman who competed against, Leah Thomas was a man who competed against women because he decided to transition and say that he was a woman now. And he absolutely killed everything. The woman had no chance. He ended up beating them by over 50 seconds. That's how much better he was than they were. And there's nothing wrong with being as obviously men's sports are more entertaining than women's sports. Not all men's sports, but men's sport is more entertaining because men are more physical, we're more athletic. We're just built that way. It's just natural like that. And women are more softer, they're more feminine, and it's natural. They're not going to be as hard as the men. They're not going to be as physical as the men. And we understand this. So I applaud this governor for putting his foot down and standing on what people actually believe in. The answer to this nonsense is to put transgender women in their own sports. Let them compete against each other. The same way women compete against each other, the same way men compete against each other, transgenders that identify with transgenders, they should compete against each other. Just keep it like that. And there won't be nothing much to talk about.
Now it's the trans community protesting Blakeman, calling the order political, discriminatory, and unnecessary.
This is using public property to discriminate against a very vulnerable group of people who are already under attack.
Critics say requiring girls who are transgender to compete on boys' teams will keep them from playing altogether. What's needed is not division, but education.
The gender is in your brain. They think differently. They feel differently.
How is gender in your brain? Yes, you think differently too. Gender is not in your brain. It's a part of their life. It's life. It's fact. It's biology. Regardless of what you do to your body, how you are born is the way you were born. It's God, how God created it.
They are women. They're not men.
This is an issue of respect, human rights. This is an issue about preventing suicide among adolescent transgender.
God. Where's my guy's neck? Where is his neck? That's what you should be worried about. You shouldn't be worried about what these transgenders is doing. You should be worried about what you doing with that mouth. Holy.
Population.
Under the order, sports leagues must now submit documentation of their players' biological sex at birth. Blakeman says the order was not political, but was prompted by requests from concerned parents. Meanwhile, the Office of New York State Attorney General Tish James is calling this deeply dangerous. She says that her office is now reviewing their legal options. In East Meadow, Long Island, Carolyn Gussoff, CBS 2 News.
Okay, Carolyn, thank you. And in nationwide, at least 24 states have laws banning transgender athletes.
These are all the states that are banning transgender athletes from competing with each other. Wow. Massachusetts is not one of them, of course. But there's a lot of states that are on this board that agree with the governor of New York, who just passed this bill. That county, at least. I respect it.
From participating in sports. That's according to the Movement Advancement Project. It's a nonprofit LGBTQ think tank. Last year, House Republicans passed a bill banning transgender athletes from competing in girls' or women's sports teams at federally supported schools and colleges. President Biden promised to veto the measure if it passed the Senate, but it did not. And we have more information on our website, cbsnewyork.com, and continuing coverage coming up on CBS 2 News at 6.
So the Republicans are all about the LGBTQ. Not the Republicans, the Democrats. I see that now. The Democrats are all about it. Yeah, I completely agree with that governor. I can't lie. I think that he made the right choice in that they have to make a decision on how they want to handle this situation, how the world actually wants to handle this situation, because it's not okay if women are not accepting this in their sports. If women are accepting it in their sports, then that's one thing. But if women just want to compete with women, we have to do something about it. We can't just keep talking about it. But thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate y'all viewership. We got some more topics to talk about. Let me know how you guys felt about that one down below. That was an interesting one. And like I said, I actually agree